trees and the water, the sun, the moon and the stars, the plants and the animals, all living things. Let me share your power.
What's going on, everybody? You found Bottom Tier Collector. I'm your host, BTC. And anime is all about the hair, right? So I'm losing the hat. I'm going to show off my new haircut. My first time getting a gentleman's cut. I know I got a little more hair over here, a little more bangs than I'm used to. But I'm pleased with the haircut nonetheless. As you can see, the Dragonball Z stuff is out. Shout out to you, Super Russ 9000. You get me energized for my childhood love of Dragonball Z. Straight up. In our next video reviewing novelty energy drinks, we got Dragonball Z Spirit Bomb. There's Goku on the front, loading up the Spirit Bomb, planning to throw it on Frieza. Just a little trip down memory lane, if you guys will indulge me. 1998, 1999, and 2000 were really the year of anime for me. I had a great best friend in 4th and 5th grade. We kind of grew apart in 5th grade and 6th grade. But I'll always cherish those memories going to his house. And the move was to get Sbarro's Pizza in the mall. Those of you who live in Alabama probably are familiar with Sbarro's Pizza. I know it's like imitation New York pizza. It's not the real thing. But for us down in Alabama, it's the closest thing we had. Sbarro's, anytime I can find a Sbarro's Pizza in a food court, I try to go there. I'm totally nostalgic for that company. And we'd get Sbarro's Pizza, and then we'd go over to the local Blockbuster, and the building that used to be our Blockbuster in town is still there. It's definitely not a Blockbuster anymore, but it's still there, and I just like to reimagine it as Blockbuster in 1999. And we'd rent maybe 1 or 2 Nintendo 64 cartridges, and we'd go back to his house, and if it was early enough, the Cartoon Fridays from Cartoon Network was on, and we'd kill all that. Cow and Chicken, Dexter's Laboratory, Johnny Bravo, Ed, Edd and Eddy, Powerpuff Girls. Those were the big 5 that they sometimes switched it up and added more to the lineup. But those were the big 5 on Cartoon Fridays. And then once that was done, you'd switch over to Toonami. And we'd play toys and video games. But when it was time for Gundam Wing, Dragon Ball Z, and Tenchi Muyo, we stopped what we were doing and we watched those 3 animes. Sometimes, if we were in the mood for Big O, we were awake for Big O or Outlaw Star. We would stay up for those animes, but it was just all about Gundam Wing, Tenchi Muyo, and of course Dragon Ball Z was the big one. Probably the biggest thing I cared about, my favorite passion in that 3-year stretch was Dragon Ball Z. And especially in 1999 in 5th grade, I think I was just all about Dragon Ball Z. A franchise that's so near and dear to my heart. I got the pretentious beer cup here, Chimay, one of the greatest beers in the world. If you're a beer connoisseur or you're looking to try new beers, look up stuff from Belgium. It's not as bitter. A craft beer gives fancy beer a bad rep. A lot of casual beer drinkers, they're scared of the hoppy American beers. Look up beers from Belgium. Chimay's one of the best beers in the world, especially Chimay Grand Reserve. But they also have lighter, fruitier beers like their Tripel and their Cinq Cents. I can't say it. I'm not going to pronounce it, but Cinq Cents in my American accent is what it reads on the glass. And they have a wonderful Christmas ale as well. I'm sidetracking. Let's get to the energy drink. You're not here for beer and beer discussion. So one thing I learned from the beer community, it's important to try and use all of your senses except for feel. Well, you're going to use feel when you take a sip. Try to aggressively pour and get some kind of head action. Yes, it's called head, the foam Beer foam is called head. Yeah, really not a lot of head, and it's not a beer. So it looks like watermelon or strawberry. The previous one, the Vegeta one, I forget what it was called. The Vegeta one was blue, and this one looks like a strawberry or a watermelon. Let's go in and smell. I'm actually getting raspberry. I'm going to check the can at the end of this to see if my aroma and my palate is correct. But I'm getting raspberry, and raspberry's fresh on my mind, and we got some fresh raspberries in the refrigerator, so definitely got that memory recall pretty fresh in the mind. Let's go in for a sip. Kind of mild. It's definitely effervescent. It's an energy drink, right? The carbonation's there. It's full, but the palate there. And when I say mild, it doesn't mean it's not flavorful. It's definitely flavorful. It's a sugary drink, but for what I was expecting, based on that blue cotton candy Vegeta energy drink, this one's a little more mild. It's not punching me in the face as much. Definitely got raspberry. It's not as sour as like a fresh raspberry, but there's a tinge of cough syrup, just a tinge of it, because there's chemicals in here. It's not all natural, so it's going to taste chemically. It's going to go down that cough syrup rabbit trail, but it's not it's garbage. That's definitely not what I'm trying to say. It's definitely not awful. I quite enjoy this. Overall, I think it's a pretty sweet drink. I don't mind this. Would I drink this over and over and over? Probably not. But it's nice as a treat here. For those of you who care, since this is an energy drink, this has 100 milligrams of caffeine, so this is comparable to a Mountain Dew. I believe I said it in the last video, I think Mountain Dew has 93 milligrams, so it's comparable to a 20 ounce. I think it's a 20 ounce that has 93, not a can of Mountain Dew. I think like a Coca-Cola Amp, or maybe it's Mountain Dew that makes Amp, so you're not as like high octane energy drinks, like your sodas trying to be energy drinks kind of drinks. This would be comparable to that. Let's see here. I'm trying to see if it says anything about raspberry. But of course, and I'm not surprised, it's got all of these words I can't pronounce because, it's got chemicals in it. Nothing. I don't know where it gets its flavor from. No idea. But it definitely tastes like raspberry. If you don't mind drinking, if you're a stickler for all natural, or you're vegan or whatever, if you care about your health, definitely don't pick this up. There's better options. But if you're a nerd like me and you're into novelty items, I would suggest this, at least for just a one-time thing. Would I recommend buying a case of this? I don't think so, because I don't think you're gonna get the energy you're looking for from Spirit Bomb. It definitely doesn't hit me with a Spirit Bomb of energy. But it's fun. Like, if I just needed to shake off the cobwebs and just, get a little refocused, I mean, this will do the job for sure. So if you'll divulge me again, the Spirit Bomb, the Spirit Bomb, and well, see, where do I want to start here? So when we get to the Namek series, the Namek saga, which is not very far into Dragon Ball Z, we get all this build up into the Goku Frieza fight, and once you realize Frieza's the big bad on Namek, it's pretty much assumed Goku and Frieza are going to show down at some point. I think even as a kid, we all assumed Goku and Frieza were going to fight. And this is a moment that I thought was kind of wasted. Now, I don't mind how the moment was executed. I'm just going to go ahead and spoil it. Goku builds the Spirit Bomb and he misses. It doesn't give... He hits Frieza, but it's not like a direct hit. Like the epicenter of his energy Spirit Bomb does not hit Frieza, so he survives. It could have killed and beaten Frieza, though. Goku was that powerful without being a Super Saiyan. But just that moment where he's building the Spirit Bomb and he's lifted his hands and he's calling for all the energy in the universe to help him build a Spirit Bomb, it didn't age well for me, personally. It drug on for too long, and then you're trying to sell me on the fact that Frieza doesn't understand why Goku won't fight anymore, that he's just got his hands up. I didn't buy that either. That was a bit corny, that Frieza didn't just look up in the sky and question why his hands are in the sky. But what do you think? What do you think about the Spirit Bomb moment? What do you think about the move? I think the move is wasted energy. Just the way the show is, it's predicated on fast-paced fighting and martial arts and energy moves. I just feel like it's not smart for one of these characters to take the time to make a Spirit Bomb. That'll do me, guys. Again, Dragon Ball Z Spirit Bomb energy drink, a raspberry energy drink. Thank you for enjoying this review. If you did, if you didn't, thumbs it down all the way. I'll see you guys next time.